Alright, boys, so today we are going to do a trading recap for the 2 days, which is Monday and today. I did not do a trading recap because I was really busy yesterday, so I'm gonna just do it today. But let's just go with the trade that I took today, which was a really bad trade actually, and it kind of pissed me off because that's how bad it was. Alright, and every time, I stumble across these kind of trades, I just get annoyed at myself, alright? I just think like if you're a person who takes like a shit trade and then after that you realize like after like how bad it was, bro, that makes it even worse, alright? That pisses me off, alright? That frustrates me so much where it just like bro, it really like it gets into the nitty of gritty of things. I don't even know if that like makes sense, but I'm just saying things just to say things. All right, so just to explain my trade today, let's just start off with the hourly bias. Okay, so initially, before news, we were bearish because we broke structure to the downside on the hourly. On top of that, we tapped in these highs at this level, and then we tapped into this low right over here. So technically, we could have went both ways, but ideally it would have been better because we did break structure to the downside, which meant the bias would be better if we were bearish or looking for shorts. So for some reason, I decided to be a dummy and decided to look for some longs. I really don't know exactly why. I guess I was just tunnel visioning on the 1 minute, but you could see on the 5 minute, which I usually look at the most, is that we broke structure on the 5 minute. All right. And this technically was the retracement that we had before we went downwards. So I didn't see that, at that time. I was just looking at this area right over here, which in my opinion, if you scale down to, I mean, scale up to the higher time frame, this would have been technically a liquidity sweep. Yeah. Yeah, this was somewhat a liquidity sweep for this level right over here. And that's what I initially thought. So when we continued up, and if I look at the 1 minute, we just kept on breaking structures for, yeah, on the 1 minute. And I thought we were going to keep on going higher, tapping to this high at least, but we did not do that. But the reason why I entered off this trade was because we kept on validating the fair value gaps. On top of that, we broke structure at this high, and then we tapped into this BPR, which in my opinion I thought would have been a nice trade. But I entered off this candle right over here, and then we had some kind of momentum that like looked like we wanted to continue upwards, but I just got like baited so hard. And then 3 minutes after, I just got stopped out, bro. You know how frustrating that is? Like, bro, 3 minutes after analyzing the markets for like for like 40 minutes, bro, and then you just get stopped out just like that, bro. So I had to take another trade. Actually, no, I didn't take another trade, but I only took one trade. But I technically wanted to, but I just knew that I wasn't. My mindset was not right. All right. So times like this, a learning lesson for the people who are watching this. When you take a loss and you want to take another trade, don't do it. That's revenge trading. Most of the time, you are actually gonna get stopped out again, and you are gonna lose more money. All right, so don't do that. But I'm gonna show you guys the trade that I should have taken, and I never did. But again, let's go on the 5 minute. Hourly, I already told you we were pretty much bearish. Before market opening, we created an SMT, or yeah, actually no, we created an SMT just at market opening. So it was at this high to this low, or not this low, but like this the high of the, yeah. This was the high, and then this is the high low. I think that's what you call it. But anyways, you guys get what I mean. So we created an SMT, and then we also broke structure on the 5 minute, and then this would have been the retracement candle that we kind of get before we continue lower. But I didn't really think of that. You can see we had a 5-minute fair value gap here, and then if you scale down to the 1 minute, once you saw like a whole bunch of like rejection off this 5-minute fair value gap, then we could have scaled down to the 1 minute and taken a trade off a 1-minute break of structure, which we get right over here. So after this candle closure, we would have entered exactly at this start of the candle, and then our stop loss would be at this high, and then our TP would be at this low. So you could see that, I don't know, the highest that we reached is a 0.67. So technically, I wouldn't have put my stop loss at break even. So a rule that I need to go by is that, or a rule that I wanted to go by was that I wanted to put my stop loss at break even after we reach like a 0.5 risk to reward, meaning that once I hit the 0.5 mark of the trade, then I put my stop loss at break even. But I don't think that's a good idea, because in an example like this, if I did, then I would have gotten stopped out or at break even, and then the trade wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't go my way. Well, it technically would have gone my way, but it, like, I got stopped at a break even, and I don't want to, I don't want to keep on getting stopped at a break even because it's just too much, bro. Like, it just, bro, like, sometimes you just gotta let the trade play out, and even if it doesn't go in your way, then it's okay. But at the time, you just gotta learn from your mistakes. That's all I can say. So I think I'm gonna just keep it usually at 1%. When I do hit a 1%, that's when I stop or put my stops at break even, and that would have been ideally better, because we technically never end up tapping into our entry point ever again, and we could have ended up hitting our TP, which this part kind of makes me mad, because I think if we broke structure up here, I probably would have taken some profits here, because that would have scared me low key. But that's something where, you know, you don't want emotion to play in, and although it could have went all the way up here, in the end it didn't. So it's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. So this is the trade we should have taken, which we never get. But explaining our Monday trade, um, I written down new strategy I want to implement from now on. I want to target a 1-to-1 more often, with having break evens when in profit. So when to have a stop loss at break even, I wrote that when position is roughly around 0.5%. Yeah, is roughly around 0.5 to 1%. Um, but I think I'm gonna just keep it at 1%. So this trade, let me check this. Was this a good trade or was this a bad trade? Coming into the day, we were bearish, or so we had a bearish bias, and then looking at this, we ended up taking two trades, which is a long and then a short. You can see right over here on the 5-minute, we broke structure to the upside, and then we also validated this 5-minute fair value gap. So looking for a long wouldn't have been that bad, but let's just take a look. So right over here, you can see we break structure to the upside, and then we get a retracement right over here. So technically, our entry would have, it could have been at this area right over here, but we ended up entering at this candle, and at that point or time, we were already pretty much tapping into the low time frame liquidity, which was at this high. So, you know, I guess, it's not that bad of a trade, but at the same time, it's still, not that great of a trade, because you could see after like what, 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, we just get stopped at a break even. I mean, not break even, we just get stopped out completely. So, I wouldn't say it was that good, but later on for our second trade, which we get, going back to the 5-minute, we break structure to the downside on the 5-minute right over here. Bro, I keep on saying 5-minute too many times, but yeah, we break structure down to the, we break structure to the downside. That's what I'm trying to say. Holy, I cannot get it out of my mouth. Holy shit. Anyway, so after that, we retrace upwards and tap into this bearish fair value gap, and then at that point, I should have been looking, or what I did was that I looked for a 1 minute break of structure, which we get right over here again, and then I entered off that, having my stops at this high, and then having my TB at this low, and then it makes me so mad because like once we hit a 1-to-1, I put my stops at break even, and then at that time we never hit our TP, bro. So then we reverse all the way upwards, and then I get stopped out at break even. So technically, for the day on Monday, I could have had just a break even, or I technically could have been in profit because I managed to make at least like 500 to 600 on this trade, but I didn't take any of my position out. I just left it there just for me to hit a TP. Um, but we never get it. I don't know why. Just price was so funky, and what I heard was that um, because do have CPI on Wednesday, most of the times price does that because I guess during the day of CPI, that's when liquidity wants to be taken out. So before the days prior to CPI, price is not gonna take out any high time frame liquidity. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I heard. So for the future or looking forward, I'm just gonna take um, shorter trades. I'm gonna target low time frame liquidity, and then yeah, I'm not gonna try to go for any high time frame liquidity sweeps as for days before CPI. So yeah, that was pretty much my trades. We are already down 2% of the month. I mean, not 2%. Yeah, no, we are down 2%, bro. We are down 2%, bro. How does this happen? Okay, anyways, um, yeah, I don't know what to say, bro. I honestly don't know what to say. The shit got me speechless. I'm just, kind of not in the mood to even make these videos, but at the same time, I need content. And even though if it's a loss or a win, something needs to be put out. So you guys are gonna have to watch this video of me losing money, and yeah, hopefully you can learn from it and don't be like a dummy like me. And yeah, learn from my videos. That's actually something you could actually take part in. Learn from my videos, bro, because you do not want to be making these mistakes. That's all I can say honestly.